Brian McGuire in the record books. Winner plays the Braves, Padres and Astros, the other series. That starts Tuesday. Both American League Series start Tuesday as well. The Red Hot Red Sox.
He gets 4 home runs. I'll eat Bill Clinton.
I think you're going to be grooving it to Mr. Sosa today.
The Red Hot Red Sox looking strong and ready for another World Series title.
I don't want any white pitchers be throwing it to our Hispanic friend, Sammy Sosa.
Our Hispanic brother.
No.
Sousa. Right, whatever, Sousa.
The Mets, of course, blew their chances at the postseason, dropping 5 in a row this week, and are out of the wild card. Here's Al Leiter's take on the season.
It was fun. It was fun. You know, it was everything I dreamt of, coming back to New York. Other than the fact that we're not in the playoffs, it's been a fulfilling season.
There you go.
Oh, that's right. Other than we suck and didn't get it done. It's been a great season.
Great.
And the Monday Night Football game tonight, which Boomer Esiason disgraced himself by appearing on the program, sponsored, of course, by our friends at Cadillac, attempting to, and you might want to go visit your local Cadillac dealer and check out one of them new machines. Boomer disgraced himself by trying to tell us that Tampa Bay and Detroit was actually an interesting football game.
And a big game.
Yeah.
He said it was a big game. Now you don't know when he's going to tell the truth tonight, like the president.
There you go.
ABC shill.
There went his credibility.
The Brent Musburger of ABC. Or just Brent's with.
Probably pointing at the phone when he was saying it. Let me tell you something. This is going to be a big game.
One more time.
One more time. Yeah. Tampa Bay and Detroit.
No, you listen to me.
Oh, man, I mean, are you...
And now I got to get back to the work of ABC's tired people.
Oh, man,
Maybe somebody was between his legs while he was on the phone, too.
It looked like Yasser Arafat.
I
want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false, and I need to go back to work for the American people.
Tell your mama, tell your pa, gonna see you right now. This song, no. Mama, they don't do right.
Touchstone Pictures presents Robert Duvall, Kevin Costner, Annette Bening in a film from the Academy Award-winning director of Dances with Wolves, Kevin Costner. Open Range.
Beautiful country. Man can get lost out here. Yet there's people and things that ain't so simple as this.
Critics are hailing Open Range as a cinematic triumph, a bold, compelling, and brilliant film. A modern classic. Costner successfully brings back the Western. The climactic shootout crackles with intensity, suspense, and excitement.
The man's got a right to protect his property and his life, and we ain't letting no rancher take either.
A must-see. This year's first real Oscar contender.
I always hoped somebody gentle and caring might come along.
I'm not who you think I am, Sue.
4 stars. Magnificent. One of this year's very best.
You the one killed our friend?
That's right. Open Range. Rated R for violence. Under 17, not admitted without parent. Now playing.
Jeep vehicles have won more awards than any other brand of 4x4. And now, during the Jeep Summer Sales Drive 72-hour event, August 15th through 18th, you can get up to 7 years of oil, lube, and filter changes at no extra charge. Plus, choose from no monthly payments till 2004 and $1,000 to $3,000 in cash allowances. Or get 0% APR financing. All that, plus our 7-year or 70,000-mile fully transferable powertrain limited warranty on every new Jeep vehicle purchase, including Wrangler Rubicon, Liberty, and Grand Cherokee. But it ends August 18th. So hurry to your local Jeep dealer today for our 72-hour event and some of the best values in America. Awards based on major U.S. national auto publications 1982 to 2002. 14 certificates provide service for 3 to 7 years depending on driving habits. Deferred payment offer for very well-qualified buyers. Residency restrictions apply. Must take delivery by 8/18/03. Financing for qualified buyers through Chrysler Financial Corporation. See dealer for a copy of this limited warranty. A deductible applies. Jeep is a registered trademark of Daimler Chrysler.
Hey, if you're looking to get away for a weekend with your family, you should visit the Neverly Grand Resort and Country Club just over 1 hour from Manhattan in the beautiful Upper Hudson Valley region. The Neverly Grand Resort and Country Club will entertain your family nonstop. Rated 4 stars by Golf Digest's Places to Play. The 27 holes of championship-style golf were designed by acclaimed architects Robert Trent Jones and Tom Fazio. And the Neverly Grand Resort and Country Club is running summer and fall specials where kids stay free. Super discount packages will be available starting at just $250 per room. That price includes free golf, tennis, racquetball, miniature golf, boating, fishing, indoor and outdoor swimming, state-of-the-art fitness center, daily organized activities, exciting nightly shows, and entertainment. You get 3 delicious meals daily, free drinks in the Safari Lounge after 6, and a free cocktail party on Saturday. Enjoy horseback riding and invigorating massage at the spa or a Pilates class at the fitness center. Call them today to book your weekend getaway, 1-800-647-6000, or visit www.neverly.com. That's 800-647-6000.
Visa presents the joys of summer.
Summer's always a special time as people emerge slowly from their homes, greet the sun with outstretched arms, and then proceed without hesitation to stand in line at the beach store, the cycling shop, the convenience store, the movie theater, the smoothie place, the petting zoo, the ice cream parlor, and the amusement park. What's a quicker way to get out of the lines and into the sun? Visa check card, more convenient than cash and accepted at the summer's hottest destinations. Visa check card, it's everywhere you want to be this summer.
Whether you've got bald tires, a flat tire, old tires, or are just tired of looking at white walls, there's no better time to pick up a new set of Goodyear tires than during National Automotive Month at Sears Auto Center, because Goodyear tires are all on sale. And get a free Die-Hard Weather Handler battery worth $59.99 when you buy 4 Goodyear tires. Just bring in your old battery and we'll exchange it free. But only during National Automotive Month and only at Sears Auto Center. Sears, good life, great price. Sale and free battery offer end 8/23. Find us online at Sears.com or America Online, keyword Sears.
The Scum Report is brought to you by the Oral-B 3D XL Power Toothbrush, the best toothbrush out there to keep your teeth looking clean and really white.
I'm Janice with the Toyota Fan Highway Patrol. MTA subways not running as power returns. All signals will have to be checked before service can resume. That could be 8 to 9 hours after the power is up and running. Metro North is starting to resume service. However, service is late and sporadic. All New York City airports are open, but you want to call to check ahead with your air carrier. All Lower East crossings are open. Traffic is starting to build. Small delays being reported on the inbound Holland Tunnel. Lincoln Tunnel now has 1 lane open inbound. 2 lanes remain open outbound. The George Washington Bridge, all lanes of the lower level are still closed, so people obviously are being rerouted to the upper level, and that's causing lots of delays. Alternate side parking suspended. You will have to feed those meters in areas where they do work, and it's going to be another hot one today. Sunshine and highs in the 90s. A cold front moving through this weekend. We should see some showers and thunderstorms, and seasonable highs around 84, 85. IMSN morning newscast is 6:35. I apologize for being a little scatterbrained this morning, but we are broadcasting live from our basement, John Minko.
Oh, absolutely. And the bottom line is this: as we try and improvise, our engineer Dick James has brought us breakfast, and I'm having pretzel sticks.
And I'm having nibblers. Yes, it's John and Janice, and of course our small staff that are trying to keep us on the air, up and running. I just want to make sure that everyone knows that we will keep you up to date on the traffic and all that's happening in the news. And as the power starts to come back up again, we'll make sure you know where the boroughs are, that you'll see more traffic lights up and running, and hopefully in your neighborhood things will start resuming shortly. And keep in mind to keep those refrigerators closed.
Yes. And the freezers.
That's right. I'm hoping that when I get home today, the power will be back on. I can put the air conditioner on and have a cold beer.
There you go. And Dove brought the iced tea to go along with the pretzel sticks.
Fantastic.
And a well-balanced breakfast.
Minko, you're going to tell us about sports.
Yes, Yankees beat the Orioles 8-5, Janice, at Camden Yards. 3 runs in the 7th inning. Jorge Posada, a 2-run home run. 14 wins for Andy Pettit. Mariano Rivera, a 4-out save. And the Red Sox knocked off the A's 4-2 in 10. So as a result, the Yankee lead on Boston remains at 3 games. Of course, the Mets and Giants canceled because of the blackout. And round 2 of the PGA Championship later on this morning. It'll start in Rochester. Phil Mickelson and Rod Pampling are tied for the lead at 4 under par 66 after the first round yesterday. Tiger Woods a +4, 74 in round number 1. That's Look at Sports. This is John Minko.
You know, in show business and the fashion industry, the media loves to attack any celebrity who's not at the top of their game. Take Anna Nicole Smith, formerly one of the world's most in-demand jeans models and cover girls, until her larger-than-life appetite and plus-size figure made her the target of attacks by the tabloids and gossip columns. It would take a miracle for Anna Nicole to ever get back her supermodel form, most people thought, until Anna discovered the winning edge of Trim Spa, completely ephedra-free. Talk about a comeback, kid. Not since '69 down in the Miracle Mets has it been such an impossible triumph. Anna Nicole has already lost 30 pounds with the ancient secret ingredients in the patented formula of Trim Spot, completely ephedra-free, that help reduce the appetite, decrease food cravings, and enhance the metabolism's ability to turn calories into energy instead of excess fat. Check out Anna's before and after pictures on trimspot.com, then order Trim Spot, completely ephedra-free, by calling 1-800-TRIM-SPOT and get a 110% guarantee. That's trimspot.com or 1-800-TRIM-SPOT. Do what Anna did and score big with your own miraculous dream body today.
No matter the vehicle you're looking for, get to Geis Auto Mall today to end your search and start your savings. Whether it's a Hyundai, Nissan, Toyota, Pontiac, Buick, or Cadillac, Geis Auto Mall has been building its reputation as the Lower Hudson Valley's premier dealer for over 70 years. That's 70 years of honesty, savings, and value, which means you can't find a more competitive price, more reliable service, or more savings anywhere else. For the most selection, award-winning service, and best price, it's got to be Geis. Experience the Geis tradition today. Geis Auto Mall, conveniently located at Route 6 and Westbrook Drive in Peekskill, New York. Call 914-528-4347. That's 914-528-4347.
Good morning, accounting department. Burnwell speaking.
Good morning, Birdwell. This is Bagley.
Oh, Mr. Bagley, I'm glad you called. I'll have those year-end statements to you tomorrow.
Really? I told the president he couldn't see them.
Oh, no, sir. Have them tomorrow. The financial reports, too.
The financial reports, too? But how did you get all that done?
Bob did it. The temporary from account temps. He stepped right in and got the job done in no time.
That's great, Burnwell. Just wait till I tell the president how we did this.
Oh, I told the president all about it when he called. He said he'd talk to you in private.
In private?
Account Temps is the world's leader in specialized financial staffing. Visit us at accounttemps.com.
Right now at Blockbuster, all previously viewed movies are 25% off. All the big hits, all the big stars, all 25% off the already low prices. Details at participating Blockbuster stores. All right, here now, Iverson, Washington's senior military affairs advisor, the late General George S. Patton, Jr.
At ease, as you were, maggots. I have directed you, vermin, to join me here today for a brief review and assessment of our current tactical situation in our ongoing struggle to blow that overbearing mass of lion lard we call the president out of my beloved White House. Our position is somewhat mixed, but on the whole, I believe, improved, in that we have actually got the fat-ass fraud impeached, but not exactly in the brig, if you know what I'm saying. There is a small faction of United States senators trying to give the son of a bitch a free pass by letting him slide through what they're calling a mini-trial, a 4-day fake-aloo deal that would call not a single damn witness against this erection with ears, and in essence, acquit the bastard.
Yeah.
Is that what we want, boys? Well,
sir, no, sir, sir.
I said, is that what we want, boys?
Sir, it's not what we want, sir.
Are you girls a bunch of mutes? Sound off like you had a pair.
Sir, we want the skirt-chasing chumps to get a necktie party, sir.
That's better. Not only do we want the boy to get a full-blown trial, that's unfortunate, a full-scale trial, we want everybody who Ken Starr ever sneezed at to have to come and testify. We want, as a prominent radio program host has stated it, we want Monica Lewinsky's titties to be sworn in, labeled Exhibits A and B, and questioned by Henry Hyde. And hell with that bunch of White House lawyers who couldn't argue a dog bite case with the dog hanging off their ass. Bring in the O.J. boys. We want Check, Barry, Neufeld, Peter, Bailey, Lee F. We want Johnny Cochran holding up a pair of women's underwear in the president's defense and saying something like, if his dong was never in the thong, then the charge don't belong. We want Bess, you is my woman, Curry, sitting in a puddle of sweat that looks like she just got worked over by David Duke with a super soaker. We want Vernon Jordan rolled up in a ball, sobbing out Old Man River. We want that human virus Sidney Blumenthal clinging to William Rehnquist's legs, begging for mercy. In other words, boys, we want to see our commander-in-chief, through his lackeys, shamed to the point that he will finally have to take responsibility for his actions and exercise the only noble remedy. Take the whole sorry mess to the first and last annual administration picnic in Fort Mercy Park. Thank you for your attention, lads. That is all.
An unfortunate observation from Just a little kind of strident there. From the late General George S. Patton Jr. here in the Irish Morning Program. Here now, the senior senator from the state of Connecticut.
Oh, man. Oh, man, I'll tell you. You owe me big for this one. You owe me big. I couldn't follow Leslie Stahl. No. I got to follow that guy. Holy smokes.
How are you, Senator Dodd?
I'm a very solemn juror about to be here.
Yeah, I mean, when are you going to be sworn in, tomorrow?
Tomorrow. We get sworn in. Actually, I get sworn in today. I gather you've heard that I'm going to be walked down the aisle for the second time in my life by my colleague and seatmate, Joe Lieberman.
Hopefully it's the first time it's a man.
Well, yeah, I promise you that. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I've been accused of a lot of things. That ain't one of them, I'll tell you.
So what do you think ought to happen here?
Well, first of all, the blessing in a way has been that we've not been in session, in a sense. So you haven't had what I call sort of the cloakroom cabals develop here up to now. And Trent Lott and Tom Daschle and Joe Lieberman and Slade Gordon have really done a great job of trying to put together something here that would allow the Senate to look substantially different than the House did, which was, I think by everyone's estimation, sort of an unmitigated disaster. And obviously trying to deal with this, quickly as you can, but fairly. Someone said the other day that you got to treat each side fair, but you shouldn't give one side a chance to turn this into a circus. And there's a danger of that if this thing gets out of control. So we'll know by this afternoon whether or not there's going to be some support for this proposal that Senator Lieberman and Senator Gordon put on the table.
And that proposal is?
Basically what it is, it would allow for whatever time is necessary for the House managers to make their case. Maybe allow for a day to lapse and then give the White House a chance to respond to that. You may want to give the House managers to come back and rebut to some extent. Then have several days, maybe a couple of days for the senators on 10 or 15-minute speeches to comment themselves on all of this. And then have a vote, as I understand this now, I haven't seen it in writing, that would say that even if the facts were established in this case, does this issue rise to a conviction on impeachment? And if 67 senators did not say yes to that, then you would either vote on the articles of impeachment themselves, up or down, or you would adjourn the trial itself and then move to some alternative. And that would give everyone a chance to listen to all the issues that have been raised. I mean, this is not a question where people don't know the facts, as we all know. So that's basically the idea. I'm maybe not doing it complete justice, but that's the basic idea. So you get a fair trial. It's moved rather expeditiously, and it allows for the Senate to move on to other business.
Well, Mrs. Imus had a good question. I was trying to watch the news hour with Jim Lair, and she was raving here. And her question was, and I couldn't answer it, maybe you can, that in a trial, if we were going to have a trial, that there is the potential for new evidence to emerge, that there is the potential for some witnesses to decide to perhaps be more truthful than they have been. There even is the potential for the accused here to offer a full contrite confession. So,
well, yeah, and her suggestion being, why don't you let this thing open and who knows what's going to come over the transom, so to speak. Well, yeah, there's always that possibility, but I think people want to avoid that. I found it pretty interesting that two of them...
Avoid getting the truth, Senator?
No. Obviously, there are going to be accusations made. I presume there's going to be, wait, I've got one more piece of information here. There's one more piece of something you didn't know. And a couple of the House managers, as I listened to them the other day, Asa Hutchinson and from Arkansas, and Kennedy, I think his name is from Florida, who've been voted for impeachment, very strong, very tough on the president, were rather emphatic in their determination to avoid allowing sort of a lot of extraneous material to come in that hasn't been considered by the House. They rejected, Ken Starr rejected a lot of the accusations that are now appearing, some of the stuff that Tom DeLay talked about as you should read this other material. Well, Ken Starr rejected it himself, and if Ken Starr found it not credible, I don't know why all of a sudden we ought to be looking at material that we're not going to have the kind of time and ability to examine thoroughly. So you kind of want to draw some parameters around this based on the evidence and the facts that surrounded the articles of impeachment that have come to us. Otherwise, you do turn this into kind of an O.J. situation. If you do, then this thing falls completely out of control, and I think the Senate could end up looking as bad as the House.
Of course, that's music to our ears.
Yeah, well, I know that.
Turning this into an O.J. situation.
No, listen, if you really want, we ought to have maybe, something like the People's Court here with Judge Wapner or Judge Judy running this thing, Rush Limbaugh prosecuting, and you could have Jerry Springer being the bailiff. We could have a lot of fun with this thing.
We're talking with Chris Dodd, who's a senior senator from the state of Connecticut, and we'll be walked down the aisle by our friend Joe Lieberman, who was on this program
yesterday.
And, Lieberman had a pretty good point, or maybe. No, I was talking to Chris Bury from Nightline.
Right.
And I said, I didn't have much to do last night, so I was reading a transcript of Senator Dodd's very fine appearance on Face the Nation, in which our friend Bob Schieffer made a pretty good observation about it. That is, if you all decide just to dismiss this thing or not have the trial because the votes aren't there, and we already know what the evidence is, and yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's the force? What's to encourage the president to accept any sort of censure or anything else?
Well, that's a good question, and there's a lot of differing opinions about whether or not I should go to censure. I mean, a lot of people who may vote not to convict this president would like to be able to express themselves in the Senate. In a sense, they'd like to throw one of the rocks here. The House has had a chance to vote on impeachment. House Democrats authored a censure resolution and fought very hard for it to be brought up. So in a sense, they feel like they've expressed themselves on the president's behavior. Senate Democrats or Senate Republicans who may not think this rises to the level of conviction would like to be able to be on the record, other than their individual statements, of expressing institutionally that they don't believe that this president's behavior is worthy of no comment, in a sense. Institutionally, no comment. The problem with the censure resolution, which is what people like Mike DeWine, a good senator from Ohio, and several others have raised, is the constitutionality of it. If you end up having Senate resolutions or House resolutions censuring presidents, no matter what you may think of this president's behavior, you sort of invite a future reaction, similar reactions to other presidents by other Congresses, particularly where you have divided government, where the presidency is in the hands of one party, the Congress in the hands of another. And you don't want to destabilize and weaken the presidency by having censure resolutions using this as a precedent. So these are fairly thoughtful arguments about avoiding a censure approach. But there is a desire, without any doubt at all, on the part of many senators to want to be able to institutionally express their thoughts on what this president did. So that's why you get that kind of conflict. But I would argue, and it's something that Pat Moynihan, who's obviously about as thoughtful as you can get on these issues, has argued.
Before noon.
Well, and all day. Okay. But Pat believes, or said anyway, that if you're going to do the censure resolution at all, it probably would have to be one passed by both houses and signed by the president, much as a bill would be. Now, that's a very laborious process, and I don't know of many people that feel that the Congress wants to go through that once we've completed. If, in fact, there's not enough votes to convict, then to go back and do a laborious censure process in the House, the Senate, requiring the president's signature. But constitutionally, I could make a case to you that kind of a censure resolution would make some sense.
No way to slip anything by you, is there?
Not a word. This is a new term, ready to go.
I mean, there's just no way. So they're hideously disparaging rim shot at poor old Senator Moynihan, who's, one of the great senators in probably the history of this country. And man, you didn't let that.
Didn't let that say. He's a great pal and a great friend. He's going to be. I tell you, he missed. A Senate without a Pat Moynihan is going to get a lot duller. Believe me.
Back seriously, there are some folks who think that simply the fact that he was impeached by the House is enough punishment.
I agree with that. And Phil Graham made that point, and others have. I mean, this is, censure or impeachment. Well, the president may not sign it or whatever. Barney Frank made the point as someone who had been censured by the House, and made the point that this is people who tell you censure doesn't mean anything or it's not important. Let me just on a personal note, I'm probably the only member of the Senate today who can speak with some degree from a personal standpoint of what a censure is like. 30 years ago this year, my father was censured by the Senate. And let me tell you, it hurts. It hurts 30 years later. So people say, well, censure doesn't mean anything, or impeachment doesn't mean anything. Of course it does. Forever in history, as long as this republic exists, when there's a paragraph or a chapter written about this president, the lead paragraph is going to have his name, comma, impeached by the House of Representatives. And that is something he will have to live with for eternity. So that is not insignificant.
Even though it was as partisan as it was, and it produced a pep rally on the...
Well, the whole thing was a disgrace. I mean, over there. Here you have an impeachment, and then you have, 6 or 7 Republicans about 72 hours later say, well, they didn't mean by impeachment that he ought to be convicted and evicted from the White House. So what were you voting for? It just broke down. The articles of impeachment include too many allegations within each article, which was poorly drafted and worded. It was just so partisan and so bitter, avoiding everything that the Founding Fathers intended when they wrote the impeachment clause in the Constitution. So what Trent Lott and Tom Daschle are trying to do, and I'm hopeful they'll be successful, is to try and devise some procedure here that is going to allow us to get through this. Now, the news hasn't been good, but I can tell you that based on the conversations I had yesterday, I don't believe that the Gorton-Lieberman-Allott, whatever you want to call it, proposal is dead at all. I think it's very much alive, and I'm very hopeful that Republicans as well as Democrats who look at this will see that it does provide us with all the opportunity to hear all of the facts and evidence and do so with a sense of decorum. The Senate's on trial, in a sense. If we can't do this, if we collapse and fall apart and look like the House or something worse, then I think the Senate will be judged very poorly and the public will react to it.
Well, my kind of clumsy observation was that what sort of punishment is it in that it was such a partisan, that the vote was so partisan? I mean, there were 5 Democrats, and then, as you just pointed out, 7, 8 Republicans saying, oops, we didn't mean. So how serious is that? And in that it did produce what some people described as a fairly obscene pep rally there in the Rose Garden, or wherever the hell it was.
Well, you know, people don't remember that. You remember that now, but I'll tell you, a year from now, 2 years from now, well, and you go further along in history, it's still going to say impeached. I mean, you go back and say to people today, you know, why was Andrew Johnson impeached? They don't know. They don't know it was partisan. They don't know it was bitter. No. But every elementary school history book will tell you he's been impeached. You know.
PBS is doing a series on the presidents, and they ask prominent politicians and celebrities to play the parts of all 41 or 42 presidents. And they could not get anyone to agree to utter the prose of Andrew Johnson except me.
But you're right. He deserves a lot more credit for many things he tried to do. He tried to advance what Lincoln tried to achieve, and that was to heal the wounds of a nation. And a very extreme group of Republicans who wanted to punish the South bitterly for the Civil War, of course, were the ones who led the charge against him, passing a law that prohibited the president from firing a member of his own cabinet, which is ridiculous. So Johnson deserves, I wouldn't put him in the lexicon of great presidents, obviously, but he deserves a lot more credit for what he tried to do and how he was treated.
I was 10 down on the list, I think. Everybody refused to do it. Even Howard Baker, you know. Did you ever date Leslie Stahl?
No. Listen, Leslie's a good friend. I've known her through our mutual friend Esther, and don't know terribly well, but I think terrific journalist, and I've admired her over the years. In fact, I arrived in Congress about the time she was actually here a year or two before, around the same time, actually, I guess, on the Watergate stuff. So have careers that have paralleled each other. Obviously, she's done tremendously well and highly regarded here in town.
This is really in poor taste, but I'd be remiss if I didn't at least make this observation. Your former wife's been nominated in the Famous American Book Awards.
That's
potentially could win $100,000.
Well, no, I was going to give her a call.
Does it help you at all?
Well, I was going to, I'm still single, and who knows? No, I think it's terrific. She's Warner's Bench. She had a reading here in Washington a few months ago, which I went to, which she did a terrific job at, and she's very excited. The New York Times gave it a great review, and appreciate Deirdre's appreciation of the book.
Well, my wife did discover it. It's a great book. Well, congratulations once again. And
well, thank you. I owe it all to you. Wouldn't be here without you. You know, it's been a rocky road over the last few years, but again, my deep appreciation to the president for taking campaign finance issues off the front pages of America.
We know. We'll get you one of these.
I know you will. One of these days I'm going to slip.
Yeah. Thanks, Senator Dodd.
Thank you, Imus.
Senator Chris Dodd here on the Irish Morning Program.
I smell smoke in the auditorium. Charlie Brown, he's a clown. That Charlie Brown, he's gonna get gone. Just you wait and see.
Why is everybody always picking on me?
Imus in the morning.
The Dodge summer sales drive has been going strong, but your Dodge dealer is turning it up a few notches with a special 72-hour event. Right now, you'll get no extra charge lube, oil, and filter changes for 3 to 7 years. Plus, get a cash allowance of $1,000 to $4,500 depending on model, with no monthly payments until next year. Or qualified buyers can choose 0% APR financing, and you'll get Dodge's 7-year or 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. But if you want to grab these bonus offers, you've got to hustle, because the special 72-hour event ends Monday, August 18th. See your Dodge dealer for the best values in America. Use of 14 oil change certificates depends on driving habits. Excludes Viper. Interest on deferred payment occurs from date of purchase. Financing for qualified buyers. Excludes Caravan EL&DX, Viper, and SRT4. Cash allowance excludes Viper and SRT4. Residency restrictions apply. All offers accept oil services and deferred payment N9203. See dealer for a copy of this limited warranty. A deductible applies. Must take delivery from dealer stock.
I wasn't the best kid in school. Get out of here, go to detention. Once I started doing the music, then it made everything else interesting.
Wyclef Jean on the need for school music programs.
Then I found English a little more interesting. Then I found math a little more interesting.
Join Blue from American Express. Support Save the Music.
Can't play a broken trombone. Broken accordion. We want instruments that work. How do we fix it? Save the music.
Log on to AmericanExpress.com/Blue for music to make a donation.
That's what it's about right there.
American Express, with no annual fee and the flexibility to pay over time, so you don't have to sweat it. To apply, just call 1-800-600-BLUE.
At Kohl's 50% off sale, you'll get half off hundreds of items store-wide this Friday and Saturday only from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Take half off all sew and Sonoma pants and new styles and fabrics. Save 50% on screen tees for juniors, young men, and kids. Get half off sleepwear for the family. Plus, save 50% on all frames and framed art, every accent rug, and every bed and decorative pillow. It's Kohl's 50% off sale this Friday and Saturday only. Or shop anytime at Kohl's.com. Kohl's. Shop happy, sleep happy. I'm Janice with the Toyota Fan Highway Patrol. MTA subways still not running as power returns. All signals will have to be checked before service can resume, and that could be 8 to 9 hours after the power does come on. Metro North starting to resume service. Service is light and sporadic as a result. All New York City airports are open. There are reports that planes are coming in and out of the airports, so call to check with your air carrier. Lower East River crossings are open. That's good news. 10 to 15 delays being reported at the inbound Holland Tunnel. One lane is open in each direction. Lincoln Tunnel has one lane open inbound with 10-minute delays reported. Some major problems on the George Washington Bridge with the lower level being shut down. They have since reopened the lower level, so traffic should start to feel the relief. There was 40-minute delays last check. No tolls today on the Garden State and the New Jersey Turnpike. Alternate side is suspended. However, you have to feed the meters in areas where they work. A hot, sticky day today. Sunny and highs in the 90s. Showers and thunderstorms for the weekend with seasonable temperatures around 80. And this report brought to you by the New York Yankees. You are listening to WFAN in New York. I'm Janice. More of the best of I'm is coming up with national news headlines. We are going to CBS News right now.
CBS News time at the tone, 7 o'clock. CBS News, this is Frank Cittadini. Hour 15, slow but steady progress, lights again in parts of New York City.
It is an infinitely better situation here in Long Island City than it was last evening. We are seeing traffic lights normally.
20% of New York City has power now, but New Yorkers can forget about rush hour subway service. All New York airports are open, but operating with delays. Mayor Michael Bloomberg is preaching patience.
It's going to be a tough commute. I think essential service personnel should come in and then use your judgment. If you have to take a Friday off in the summer, isn't the worst thing.
Officials agree the power failure that left 50 million people with no electricity was not caused by terrorism. But authorities in this country and Canada have been arguing over whose side of the border should get the blame. President Bush promises to get to the bottom of the worst blackout the country has ever had.
We'll find out why, and we'll deal with the problem.
The president says the power grid needs to be modernized. In Cleveland, they need water desperately, says WOIO-TV's Scott McFarland.
There is now a state of emergency in Cleveland because of the water. Water has run dry in parts of Cleveland. The other parts that are still getting water are getting very little, and it needs to be boiled first. There's no power to run the distribution. Without distribution, the 1.5 million customers Cleveland has for water aren't getting the water.
And they may not get it for days. WWJ's Rob Sanford says it may take days to get full power back around Detroit.
They didn't want to bring it all on at the same time because they felt like that might overload the system. So what they're going to do is bring the outer suburbs on first. If you're one of the lucky ones that live in a small town, you're probably going to have power on much before the larger suburbs around the city of Detroit. And probably the city itself will be one of the last to get power.
If you're young and in love, Central Park in the dark can be heaven on earth.
It's really nice being out here and seeing the stars. So I guess normally you can't see them because of all the lights.
I'm feeling pretty safe right now. We have a flashlight.
In Times Square, some people have more practical needs.
We've been without food, we've had water, but we're in a big line for the bathroom, so It's been pretty uncomfortable.
On Manhattan's busy Upper West Side, a 52-year-old school teacher began a new career as a crossing guard at the height of yesterday's evening rush hour.
How did you get into this?
I came out, there was nobody directing traffic.
Have you ever directed traffic before?
No, I haven't. I teach high school.
Thousands of stranded commuters and tourists spent the night sleeping in railroad and bus terminals. Others camped out on the street. Police reported no serious crime problems aside from scattered looting. On the CBS Market Watch, the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ say they'll open for business as usual about 2.5 hours from now, but the blackout could keep big board employees and stock traders from getting to work on time, if at all. And right now, S&P stock futures are higher. They're up by about 2 points. This is CBS News.
At just $29.95 a month, SBC Yahoo DSL is so affordable, everybody's getting it.
Hey, what are you doing? Talking to Steve online. You're not typing. Don't need to. We're live voice chatting with our webcams.
With SBC Yahoo DSL, you get features like Launchcast Internet Radio, video chat, and photo sharing for just $29.95 a month for 12 months guaranteed.
Why aren't you saying anything? We're having a staring contest. We haven't blinked for an hour.
Plus, you get instant credit on your modem and 1 month of Yahoo Games on Demand Unlimited.
Dude, your vision must be getting blurry. Can't see a thing. Why? Well, his chair's empty, and there's a sign on his desk that says you win.
To sign up, visit sbc.com/SBC Yahoo or call 1-866-SBC Yahoo. SBC Yahoo DSL. One more way, we bring it all home.
For residential all-distance customers only, 1-year term required. Early termination fee applies. DSL Internet by SBC Internet Services. Content by Yahoo. Taxes, installation, shipping, and handling extra. Other restrictions apply. Premium service trial applies to orders placed before 8/31/03.
Well, we all want the finer things in life, but of course they all come at a price. BMW of Bayside, proud to announce that right now, one of the finest things in life is available at an extraordinary price. For a very limited time, you can drive a 2003 factory executive BMW 325 IT for just $239 a month, or buy for $31,995. That's right, at BMW Bayside, you can lease a 2003 BMW 325 IT, equipped with automatic transmission and premium package for just $239 a month. Others have similar savings. See the ad in Friday's Newsday. It's the ultimate driving machine, and this is simply the BMW lease of the year. But it's obviously not going to last long. So hurry to BMW Bayside, 247-21 Northern Boulevard. You could call them at 718-229-4400 or the member website, bmwbayside.com. Closed in 24-month lease with $44.34 due at inception. Total monthly payments, $5,736. BMW Bayside, Queens.
When we bought this house, I really loved all the open space nearby.
Me too.
Too bad a real estate agent never mentioned what they had planned for that space.
Yeah, too bad. Want to find the right real estate agent for you? At LendingTree.com, you choose from up to 4 agents certified by LendingTree and get up to a $2,000 gift card. Call 1-800-555-TREE. That's 1-800-555-TREE or visit LendingTree.com. Equal housing opportunity. Some restrictions may apply. See website for details.
Save money on DVDs when you buy them at Blockbuster. Right now, all previously viewed DVDs, including Gangs of New York and Adaptation, are 25% off the already low prices. Details at participating stores.
I'm at the morning news time. Is 5 minutes past the hour. Good morning. I'm Janice Dean. John Minko is with me, and we are broadcasting live from our transmitter site at City Island across from Orchard Beach, where John Minko has been hanging out in between sports reports.
Well, absolutely. Checking out, Janice, what the activity. First of all, the trucks were out cleaning the sand, and you figure with the temperatures reaching 90 degrees today, it's a public beach.
Yeah.
It's going to be a perfect, and there were people milling around. I was waiting to see it.
Well, what else are people going to do with the power out?
Absolutely.
Go to the beach.
Go to the public beach.
Absolutely. So we are broadcasting live here from our transmitter because our studios are not up and working in Astoria. The power definitely hit us in Queens. We definitely felt it yesterday, and hopefully we'll have things up and running very soon when the I-Man gets back from vacation.
First job I ever had, Janice, obviously a long time ago, and it was a little town of about 13,000 people, and the studios was in somebody's garage.
Well, that's exactly what it feels like today.
Deja vu.
It's a total makeshift studio here. We just got a few skeleton crew helping us out. I honestly thought, waking up at 3 o'clock this morning, that we would not be up and running on the air. But, you know, you put duct tape on everything and things seem to work.
Yeah, well, that, you know, and driving in, people milling around the streets at 2:30 in the morning when I came in, obviously no lights. It's a little scary driving, coming to the intersections, but certainly the folks in New York put the right foot forward and cooperated and improvised extremely well.
Amazing, actually. This is my first official year in New York City, and I am just so impressed with how people do come together and really help each other during this time of crisis.
And plus, they have to come together when the electricity starts coming on. And it is on in some areas and will be coming on in others, but just because it's coming on, that doesn't mean that you have to turn the air conditioner way up and all your appliances or do the laundry. Do the laundry tomorrow.
That's right. Or get someone else to do it for you.
There you go.
The governor actually is saying exactly that, John Minko, is that when the power does come on, don't go crazy. Make sure that you use it very sporadically. Put a fan on if you can, not use your air conditioner for a little while until we get things really up and running.
Or go to the public beach.
Go to the beach. Now, do you think some of the games are going to be on tonight with the power? Any of the baseball teams playing this evening?
Well, the Mets are playing, and the Giants are playing a preseason game out at Giant Stadium.
Are they going to want to put all those lights on at the stadiums?
Well, I don't know.
Come on. Don't you have the inside scoop? Aren't you John Minko,
no,
John Minko? Award-winning John Minko?
I don't have the inside scoop on the electricity.
Wasn't it
I'm
eerie?
not into the megawatts.
I don't know. Others have told me differently, mister. But tell us a little bit about the sports scores yesterday, and then I'll run down some news for you.
Okay, the Yankees beat the Orioles 8-5. That was in Camden Yards in Baltimore after dropping 2 of 3 in Kansas City. The Yankees obviously winning game 1 of 4 at Camden Yards. 3 runs in the 7th inning, and Jorge Posada with a 2-run home run in the 9th. Bernie Williams and Hideki Matsui also with 2 RBI in the game. Mariano Rivera, a 4-out save, as Andy Pettit records his 14th victory of the year. Of course, the Mets and Giants canceled because of the blackout. Red Sox beat the A's 4-2 in 10 innings yesterday. The Yankee lead on Boston remains at 3 games atop the American League East today. PGA Championship in Rochester, Phil Mickelson and Rob Pampley 4 under par, 66 yesterday, second round today.
Got nothing else for me here? Come on, make some stuff up.
You're waving to come back to you.
I'm sorry. No, I wasn't waving to come back to me, actually. I'm getting our assistant news director, Dave Bunzel, to come in and help me with the computer because, again, a skeleton crew today. We're using, actually, Dave Bunzel's laptop. We don't have a computer here. We have no printer, and we don't have the Internet. Well, we do have the Internet, but, again, Dave is the only one that knows how to use it properly, so it's...
He knows how to use it, right.
So, is there any more sports scores?
Well, Albert Pujols at 28. Oh, sure, there's lots of baseball scores and things that happened last night in games that were played. Albert Pujols, Janice, extended his hit streak to 28. The Cards beat the Pirates 4-3. And the Cards now are tied with the Astros atop the National League Central because the Cubs obliterated Houston 7-1, and the Cubs are just a half game out. And nationally, wild card, it is the Phils now with a half-game lead on the Marlins. Philadelphia beat Milwaukee 4-3. The Marlins falling to the LA Dodgers 6-4. The Royals with a 2-game edge on the White Sox atop the American League Central. The Angels beating Chicago 5-1. The Royals were idle. And a late game for last night. Toronto tripping Seattle 5-2. Also, 17 wins now for Russ Ortiz as the Braves beat the Padres 7-4.
Fantastic. What a sportscast.
So you'll forgive me for the megawatt deficiency.
You can go play in the sand now.
There you go.
All right, let's take a look at some of our headlines. Power is returning to some areas of New York City, but subway service during the morning rush hour commute in the city won't be available. Unfortunately, Mayor Michael Bloomberg has told people to treat today like a snow day and listen to the radio or television before deciding whether to go to work. The New York Stock Exchange says it plans to open on time for regular trading using a backup power source. In Detroit, there is no immediate estimate when power will be restored in the city. Officials in Canada say up to 10 million people were affected. Treated like a big winter storm, that's what Connecticut Governor John Rowland's advice to the state's residents who are still waiting for their power to come back on. At a news conference last night, Rowland said the state's emergency preparedness system kicked in, just in case. As in the wintertime, Rowland said residents who do have power should try to conserve it in order to prevent more outages. He's suggesting that people check on elderly friends and relatives. That's good advice, particularly those who live alone. Connecticut helped neighboring New York by sending diesel-powered buses to bring train commuters out of the city. About 5,000 commuters from Connecticut were temporarily stranded in New York. Rowland says he hasn't received any reports of looting or other serious problems related to the outages, which affected about 272,000 Connecticut customers last night. 8 hospitals had at least partial power loss, but all were able to use emergency generators. You can get to New York City via Amtrak today, but it will not be business as usual. Amtrak's Dan Strassel said trains will run once per hour instead of the normal 2 trains per hour. And because New York subways are not running, there is limited ground transportation. Strassel says travelers may want to think twice about making the trip today. Train service through Philadelphia and southern New Jersey is said to be operating on a near-normal schedule. People in sections of the Northeast, Midwest, and Canada today still feeling the effects of massive power outages. Power is returning to some areas of New York, but subway service during the morning rush hour commute in the city won't be available. In Detroit, there is no immediate estimate where power will be restored in the city. President Bush says yesterday's blackout was not caused by terrorism. Some are blaming the outage on North America's aging electricity transmission grid. Although power went out in New York and other cities in the Northeast and parts of Canada, a protective system that supplies electricity to the Washington, D.C. area that kicked in, ensuring the outage wouldn't spread to the nation's capital. In other news, the capture of terrorist suspect Hambali is being met with a cautious sigh of relief today in Asia. Hambali is the suspected mastermind of the deadly bombings at the Marriott Hotel in Jakarta and the nightclub bombings in Bali. Indonesia says his capture represents an important mark in the global fight against terror. The Philippines' National Security Advisor warned no one should let down their guard. Dozens of Palestinian prisoners are being freed today by Israel. The move is a gesture to the U.S.-backed roadmap for peace plan in the Middle East. 2 minivans left a prisoner near the northern Israeli city of Haifa and took 73 prisoners to checkpoints in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. Thousands of Liberians crossed a bridge in the capital of Monrovia today to reach areas that had been held by rebels. The intent was to search for food and family members after the West African peacekeepers backed up by U.S. Marines kept bridges closed until this morning. And a new study suggests friendly employees are more productive. Researchers at the University of Michigan found that a comparison of the American work ethic to approaches in other nations shows that keeping an emotional distance may not be the most effective way to get the job done. The study is outlined in the new issue of the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. In business news, which, by the way, is brought to you by the New York Stock Exchange, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was up 38.80 points, closing at 93.10 points. Actually, make that 93.
With John Janice, Chairman, President, and CEO of North Fork Bank, a leader in the regional banking industry.
95% of our employees are, in fact, shareholders. And when people have their own money riding on the success of the enterprise, they come in earlier, they stay later, and they answer the phone when it rings.
Janice on listing a regional company on the big board.
The publicity that we gained opened up a whole new arena of investors in the United States and internationally.
On corporate governance.
I was very proud that the New York Stock Exchange was out front on this issue, attacking a very difficult, politically sensitive subject in a very forthright way.
On being listed on the New York Stock Exchange.
It communicates to the world that this company has arrived. It is a measurable force in the industry and that we are here to stay.
The New York Stock Exchange. The world puts its stock in us.
Welcome to the summer sales drive. Can I help you? Yeah, my wife here seems to think the Sebring convertible has the best offers.
I just love it.
I'm trying to tell her it's the PT Cruiser. Go on, you tell her. Well, we have great offers on both.
Now, between Friday, August 15th and Monday, August 18th, get the offer you're looking for during the Chrysler 72-hour event. Like oil, lube, and filter changes for up to 7 years at no extra charge. A choice of no monthly payments until 2004 and cash allowances between $500 and $4,000. Or 0% APR financing. Plus a fully transferable 770 powertrain limited warranty. So get to your Chrysler dealer today. This exciting 72-hour event ends Monday, August 18th. 14 certificates provide service for 3 to 7 years depending on driving habits. Excludes Crossfire. Must take delivery by 8/18/03. Deferred payment offer for very well-qualified buyers. Residency restrictions apply. Financing for qualified buyers through Chrysler Financial. Cash allowance offer excludes Crossfire and Pacifica. See dealer for copy of limited warranty. A deductible applies.
The wind teaches us about change. The stars tell us about constancy. And each day we learn the most important lessons of all from each other about respect and growth. First Union is growing too. We're joining with Wachovia and combining our talents under the Wachovia name. We're united by an uncommon idea that as we learn from the world around us, our surroundings, our neighbors, and each other, we can apply our experience to the realities of everyday life and find better ideas about saving for retirement paying for an education, running a small business, or just everyday banking. And so for our employees and all the families, businesses, and communities we serve, First Union is now Wachovia. Look for the new signs and stop by. Together, we can achieve uncommon things. Wachovia Corporation. Wachovia Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm David Orrick. I just got a letter about my new 8-pound Orrick XL upright vacuum. It says, it's wonderful, it's fun, and man, does it clean. Orrick, your vacuum is better than advertised. Folks, try my new Orrick XL free for 30 days. Call 1-800-989-4200. 1-800-989-4200. Can you name another product that's better than advertised? 1-800-989-4200.
You've got bald tires, a flat tire, old tires, or are just tired of looking at white walls. There's no better time to pick up a new set of Goodyear tires than during National Automotive Month at Sears Auto Center, because Goodyear tires are all on sale. And get a free Die-Hard Weather Handler battery worth $59.99 when you buy 4 Goodyear tires. Just bring in your old battery, and we'll exchange it free. But only during National Automotive Month, and only at Sears Auto Center. Sears, good life, great price. Sale and free battery offer end 8/23. Find us online at Sears.com or America Online, keyword Sears.
Just over an hour from Manhattan, the Everly Grind will entertain the whole family with 27 holes of championship golf, rated 4 stars by Golf Digest, swimming, tennis, horseback riding, and nightly entertainment, all-inclusive golf packages and family getaways where kids stay free. Call 1-800-647-6000 or visit Neverly.com.
Janice with the Toyota Fan Highway Patrol. Well, it's going to be an interesting commute this morning. MTA subway is not running as power returns. All signals will have to be checked before service can resume. They are saying that once the power is back on, it could take anywhere from 8 to 9 hours to get everything checked out and made sure that the subways are in good shape for traveling. Metro North is starting to resume service. All New York City airports are open. Reports that planes are now coming in and out of airports, so check your carrier if you are flying out or picking someone up today. Lower East River crossings are open. 10 to 15-minute delays being reported on the inbound Holland Tunnel. 1 lane open in each direction. Lincoln Tunnel has 1 lane open inbound. 10-minute delays being reported. Some major problems on the George Washington Bridge earlier on with the lower level being shut down. They have since reopened the lower level, so traffic should start to feel the relief there. 40-minute delays there last check. Traveling to the Bronx Co-op City, traffic lights are working. Throgs Neck and the Whitestone Bridge look good. Northern Boulevard and Cross Island are still reporting traffic light outages around Queens, so 4-way stop and proceed with caution. No tolls today on the Garden State and the New Jersey Turnpike. Alternate side parking is suspended. However, you do have to feed the meters in areas where they work. Taking a look at our forecast, it's going to be a hot, sticky day today. Temperatures up in the 90s, sunshine and humid. A cold front coming through overnight tonight. Saturday and Sunday looks like showers and thunderstorm, and highs around 83, 84. 78 degrees right now, and that report is brought to you by the New York Yankees. I'm at the Morning News Times, 7:20.
You know, Mike Francesa, well, I like Francesa a lot. And he's a very bright, funny guy.
He's a good guy, really.
And he does a sports show here on the afternoon with Russo. But Francesa, he could do, like Russo could not do a show about anything other than sports. Most of these guys around here could. No. But Francesa could do a show about anything. Mm-hmm. He could talk show about anything. He knows as much about politics as he does sports.
He's well-rounded.
He is. Or the theater, or literature.
Finances.
Yeah. So Mike's got it going on.
Auto mechanics.
And even though he's portly, he's a good-looking guy.
He could have a cooking show. Easily, very believable.
Except
what?
On this football show that he does, and I don't know what they've done to him, or what they've done to his hair, or him, or I don't know. He just looks goofy. Have you seen this football show?
Yes, I have. Game Day, New York.
He looks goofy, doesn't he? And he's got this. They've got him all jacked up, so he's very enthusiastic, you know. Which I mean, I guess you have to be, but it doesn't look genuine. That's one.
Takes it a little too from just He's arranged.
And then he's got this phony smile, and he's not phony, and there's just no reason to. Oh, it's just hideous. And here's my question for not only Mike but for Russo, you, Brain, all of you. Why don't you just say no when they ask you to do these things? Because I watched both of them, me and Deirdre. And Deirdre did say that she thought you looked very good.
Why, thank you, Deirdre. Yeah.
But other than that, that was about it.
Well, everybody's entitled to mistakes. You had that VH1 experiment. This is my VH1.
Well,
Well, there you go, I guess.
And you interviewing these people is painful.
You don't like it, huh?
Can you ever ask a question?
All right, I'll tell you what. Let's take my next show,
right,
and one of your interviews.
Yeah.
We'll see who asks longer questions.
Well, I have conversations with people. They aren't. But I'm talking about your questions. Your questions just go. They're interminable.
All right, we'll get a couple of examples.
All right, fine. I'm more than prepared for that. But they have don't make it where we're having a conversation about something, or I'm expressing an opinion of mine.
All right,
we're talking about yours. Your questions just go, and then he'll say, "Now talk to me about." Well, stop saying that. You sound like every other idiot.
Well, how about when you say, "Give me a sense" to some of your?
Oh, well,
that's where I learned it from. I learned from you.
No, you didn't. You've never heard me ever say to anybody, "Talk to me about."
You said, "Give me a sense about."
Oh, I seldom ever say that, do I, Charles?
It has happened, though, man.
It has happened, but I very seldom say that.
Well, I took that as the way it should go.
No, it's not the way it should go. Didn't I give you one of those books?
Yeah.
Okay,
That'd be a great deal.
Well, read it. And they're getting these meatheads on there you're talking to, these football players, and
walk me through.
Walk me through.
I've never said walk me through.
Oh, no, I absolutely did.
Oh, when he was doing it. All right, when he was doing
walk
it.
Absolutely. Walk me through. Oh, God, get out of the studio.
Walk me through this play on a telestrator.
Go walk through the door.
Why don't you walk into a grave?
Walk into my wiener.
Hey.
All right, here's Chuck with the news. Good morning, Charles.
Low blow. Morning, I-Man.
Low blow. Here's Pat O'Brien now from Access Hollywood. Good morning, Pat.
Morning, Don. One time I was on a radio show a while ago, and the guy had no idea who I was or what I was doing there. He had no clue.
Right.
He looked at me and said, "Walk me through why you're here and what you're doing today." Then he said, "From top to bottom." Thought that was funny at the time.
Well,
I like that.
How's your little son doing?
He's great.
I'm sending mine off for a 3-day camp, and I'm very nervous.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
That's a bad idea.
That's a bad idea.
Terrible.
Separation anxiety. Well, he's 11.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to go to one of these camps because,
Full of reprobates.
Yeah, exactly. Some bigger kid will try to do something icky to him. And it's so neat.
He doesn't need to go to a camp. Aren't you spending millions of dollars to build a camp?
No, we're building a ranch. And
I understand that.
No, it's not that. It's completely different. The children at the Imus Ranch are coming out to go to work.
You don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry I called then. Do we call to argue? Hi, Chuck.
Good morning.
You know, here's what I would take this as an insult if I were you, O'Brien.
Go ahead.
The number of people who said how surprised they were at how good you were doing a news show on MSNBC.
Well, because unlike you, a lot of them probably don't remember that I had a news career before I began all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And spent 12 years in the news trenches. Back when news was news, right, Charles?
Absolutely. Sure.
None of these stories about barking dogs and people unlocking your cars late at night.
Yeah. Well,
news, Don.
I know. No, I wasn't surprised that you were good.
Thank you very much.
Michelle, who is an assistant on the program here.
Right.
She wants to work for Access Hollywood in some sort of capacity like that.
Is this a favor for you?
Yeah.
Done.
Well, she's very good. I wouldn't recommend somebody who was a dope.
Does she want to work in New York or L.A.?
L.A.
All right, well, have her call me. Well, I'll call her today.
In fact, she's out. Now, let me tell you how she is.
She's very good, because when I call, she's very efficient, very nice.
Okay, she has to be here every morning at 5 a.m. Eastern Time to unlock my office and make sure everything, computer's on and all that stuff's ready to go. She has never, in a year, she has never once been late.
Been late?
She's never been late.
Not once.
Not once.
Wow.
One time she did forget to send a special FedEx thing. Now, a couple of things like that, but very minor. We actually let her work on stuff for the ranch, which we're more serious about.
What kind of position would she like?
Oh, just like a
Giselle.
Well, no, no, but like a production assistant or somebody go get stuff.
Right.
Yeah, just a low-level deal, but I mean, just someplace like an entry-level situation. Not a big deal.
Well, we'll talk to her today and we'll get it worked out. If she won't work here, we'll find her someplace else.
What?
No. What do you mean she won't work there? Don't you have enough juice to get her a job on Access Hollywood?
Yes, I do, Don.
Well, we'll see, won't we?
Oh, this is a nice call.
Well, no, because
we'll find out.
We'll find out.
Well, see how much juice you got.
Call Dana and ask her. I mean, she's terrific.
No, I've spoken to her several times because you have to go through her to get to Dana now.
Yeah.
So, but we'll work on it. What does Bernie say? We'll effort it.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
It's not sounding good.
No, it's not
you
sounding.
said done before.
Hey,
I'll get it done.
Did you see Primary Colors, a movie?
Yes, I did. Strikingly similar to some other things, wasn't it?
Wasn't it awful?
Yeah, well, it was a long time ago. You're just seeing it now?
I saw it. It's on DirecTV now.
Where do you see Pleasantville? Have you seen that?
No.
It's very, very good.
Except Billy Bob Thornton, I thought played Carville in this thing, and he was very good.
You know what I like about Carville?
No.
He never, ever, ever changes his position.
Oh no,
he's great. And once he says something, man.
Oh no, he's.
You could fly John Glenn through his head.
Yeah.
And he's not going to change.
No.
Wouldn't hurt either. Is that a nice? That's a nice metaphor, isn't it?
It's a very good. Yeah, it is actually. It's a good one.
Is it actually a metaphor though?
Kathy Bates, horrible. John Travolta, fat horrible. Emma Thompson, dreadful.
The problem with the movie was that once you started watching, it became a parody of itself.
But it was lame. It was just lame the way it was done. But this is Mike Nichols, and Elaine May wrote the screenplay. Hello? And Rob Reiner? Rob Reiner should be horsewhipped.
You're just seeing this?
I saw it this Saturday night. My wife and I saw it on DirecTV. Me, David, and Wyatt.
Have you seen this new Dustin Hoffman movie, The Graduate? Anyway, we'll take care of Michelle.
Well, I mean, is she going to have a job?
Well, when is she moving out here?
She's December.
Well, I'm glad there's some notice on this.
Well, I mean, I can get her. By the way, I can get her a job at DreamWorks, or I can get her a job at New Line Cinema. So I mean, we don't need you. I just thought it'd be fun to work with you. I mean, you could teach her a lot of stuff. She's interested in journalism, and you're a little more. Well, you have the news background. She's,
Yeah. No, it's a good place to work too.
She worked for my brother down in El Paso, Texas, and then she came up here and she worked for us, and then.
What's the problem?
I don't
There's
see
no
what
problem.
Well,
what's the hesitancy? When did she start? What day? What is the hesitancy?
Right at my house here before the call's over?
Well, let me ask a question. What happened between done and we'll take it under advisement? What happened
I'll get it done. Gosh.
Wow.
What's going on with you guys?
But you know what? It doesn't sound...
You know what the problem is? I just looked at my clock. You know what the problem is?
No.
This is the 9 o'clock hour, isn't it?
No, it doesn't have nothing to do with anything.
Irrelevant. Answer my question. This is the 9 o'clock hour.
Well, yeah, it is.
Hey, we're going on a new station in L.A.
Oh, which
because the one we're on sucks now.
Yeah, which one?
I can't tell you. But it's it used to be one of the great rock and roll stations in the country.
Wow. Is it FM?
Well, unfortunately, no, but it's a good AM.
Do I have to expand my radio to the right or to the left and find a station?
To the right.
To the right? Okay. Charles thought that was funny.
I like that.
It's at 4:20 a.m.
It doesn't sound to me as though, however, it doesn't sound to me. I mean, for example, if you were to call me.
I said done.
Okay.
God.
Yeah, but then the hedging began.
Yeah, well, then I started to think, what have I done here? But
she can be in charge of security of your hair care products.
Hey, speaking of that,
I don't think I'd be doing hair jokes, Barry, for somebody who doesn't have any hair.
I have plenty of hair.
You have no hair.
I'm cousin it next to Pat O'Brien, for crying out loud.
My hair looks good.
It does look good.
You know?
Thanks to those hair care products.
Yeah, that Michelle's going to be guarding. It would seem to me, if you were to call me and said, I mean, I could say to you, if somebody would call me and said, well, I don't know, we don't have an opening. We do have an opening now that Michelle's leaving, but prior to this, I could have worked something out. I could have gotten her a job. I could have given you a definite answer.
See, here's the problem for those of you out there listening with calling in the 9 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
This conversation might have ended after I said done, and then Don gets off and says, Pat's really a nice guy. Instead, we've gone another 7 minutes arguing my interpretation of done. I will go into work today. I would say, you know what, if we've got any positions open, I've got somebody who we need to fill this position with.
If we have, my God, that's done.
Nothing is done. That's not done. If we have any positions open, you Hollywood weasel.
Create a position.
If. What are you, nuts?
I'm never, ever, ever again calling the 9 o'clock hour. You guys get bored. You sit around, you've booked no guests. You have no idea what you're doing. There's no format. And you call people and you terrorize them.
Pat O'Brien, Access Hollywood, here on the Access Morning Program.
sales drive has been going strong, but your Dodge dealer is turning it up a few notches with a special 72-hour event. Right now, you'll get no extra charge lube, oil, and filter changes for 3 to 7 years. Plus, get a cash allowance of $1,000 to $4,500 depending on model, with no monthly payments until next year. Or qualified buyers can choose 0% APR financing, and you'll get Dodge's 7-year or 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. But if you want to grab these bonus offers, you've got to hustle, because the special 72-hour event ends Monday, August 18th. See your Dodge dealer for the best values in America. Use of 14 oil change certificates depends on driving habits. Excludes Viper. Interest on deferred payment occurs from date of purchase. Financing for qualified buyers. Excludes Caravan ELNDX, Viper, and SRT4. Cash allowance excludes Viper and SRT4. Residency restrictions apply. All offers accept oil services and deferred payment N9203. See dealer for a copy of this limited warranty. A deductible applies. Must be delivery from dealer stock.
Hey, look at those two guys. Oh, yeah. I'll take the one on the left. Oh, but the other guy's losing his hair. Sorry.
That's pretty unfair. But let's face it, that's the reality. You need Avacor, the hair growth product that is proven to reverse hair loss. Avacor has helped thousands of people just like you grow healthy new hair and regain that youthful appearance. Order Avacor today and we'll include 1 additional month's supply free. Avacor is easy to use, and with the free month supply, how can you go wrong? Before you spend thousands on painful hair restoration procedures, let Avacor regrow your hair the easy way at a fraction of the cost. Call 800-340-5647. That's 800-340-5647. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. So you have nothing to lose except more hair.
Well, I guess he's not bad. From the eyebrows down.
Call 800-340-5647 for Avacor.
This Friday, Touchstone Pictures presents Robert Duvall, Kevin Costner, Annette Bening in a film from the Academy Award-winning director of Dances with Wolves, Kevin Costner. Open Range.
Beautiful country. Man can get lost out here. Yet there's people and things that ain't so simple as this.
Critics are hailing Open Range as a cinematic triumph, a bold, compelling, and brilliant film. A modern classic. Costner successfully brings back the Western. The climactic shootout crackles with intensity, suspense, and excitement.
The man's got a right to protect his property and his life, and we ain't letting no rancher take either.
A must-see. This year's first real Oscar contender.
I always hoped somebody gentle and caring might come along.
I'm not who you think I am, Sue.
4 stars. Magnificent. One of this year's very best.
You the one killed our friend?
That's right. Open Range. Rated R for violence. Under 17, not admitted without parent. Starts Friday.
Certain things belong together. Burgers and fries, soap and water, love and marriage. You could call them famous combos in history. Well, let's add another for you travel junkies. Flights and hotels. Flights and hotels belong together. And now at Travelocity, you can get it together. We give you a new way to get the flight you want with the seats you want, the hotel you want, in the neighborhood you want, all together for a price you want. A price that's even lower than if you booked separately. That's because at Travelocity, you have access to special deals. Deals that let you book together and save. So you get exactly what you want for less. Get it together. Book your flight and hotel together and save. Visit Travelocity.com or AOL keyword travel.
Right now, get away to Orlando for 3 nights, including air and hotel, from just $222. Prices may vary. See site for details.
The Scum Report is brought to you by the Oral-B 3D XL Power Toothbrush, the best toothbrush out there. They keep your teeth looking clean and really white.
IMUS the Morning News Time is 7:37. My name is Janice Dean, and we are live broadcasting to you from our transmitter site, City Island, right across from Orchard Beach. And John Minko is here with me. We are on a skeleton crew right now, and it looks like we're kind of broadcasting from our basement somewhere.
Matter of fact, I don't think I can ever recall being in any type studio where the walls are orange.
That's true. A color faux pas. That's just not right.
I just noticed that after a couple hours.
It's certainly interesting being here today. I have to say that our studios in Astoria, our beautiful Astoria studios at the Kaufman Astoria Studios in Queens have been shut down because of, obviously, the power outage within the last 24 hours that we've had. So we had to move right here to City Island, right across from Orchard Beach, to transmit live to you.
and the beach will be open, I would assume, later on today. Matter of fact, we saw the trucks at about 6 o'clock in the morning cleaning out the beach. So with temperatures approaching the 90-degree level here today, public beach could be a way to go.
I bet you a lot of people are going to be heading to the beach, including yourself. That's all you've been talking about all morning long is the beach.
Well.
And how you're going to get your Speedo in full use.
Well, I don't think we need to go there. Besides that, Sid's winning the fight.
Oh, that's right. In case you hadn't tuned in last week, John Minko was predicting that Sid
I guaranteed.
Oh, you guarantee? Do you still guarantee?
Yes.
That Sid Rosenberg and Bernard McGurk, when they do take it to the ring, Sid was going to beat the crap out of Bernard McGurk, and you think that that's going to happen? You've got your shorts on it, so to speak.
Well, yeah, Sid's going to win, I guarantee it.
And if he doesn't?
I'm very, then I'll be mad at him.
Well, yeah, because apparently you're going to have to wear some Speedo bathing suits, I hear.
That might be a little rough, but...
Oh, tell me about all
It's a good thing we didn't eat breakfast because it would be coming up right now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, I would love to see you in a Speedo, but maybe we should do the news.
I think we need to do the news.
All right, let's take a look at it. I should mention that you are listening to the Best of Imus. We are going to be playing more of that for you, as well as keeping you up to date on the traffic situation and the weather and the latest in this power situation. One of the largest power outages in North American history, still disrupting life from the Northeast through the Midwest and into Canada. New York City's morning commutes, obviously lacking subway service. Commercial airlines are flying back into New York's 3 major airports, but delays are expected across the entire country as the nation's airlines struggle to get back on schedule. The morning being spent trying to restore electricity in parts of the Northeast, Midwest, and Canada. In New York City, the power is returning slowly but surely in some areas. Electricity for over 1 million customers in upstate New York has been restored by Niagara Mohawk. Cleveland Mayor Jane Campbell says work crews are restoring electricity and water supplies to the city. President Bush has ruled out terrorism as the cause of yesterday's power blackout. The exact cause of the outage are not known. Some people are pointing a finger of blame on North America's aging electricity transmission grid. There was some speculation that the outage might somehow affect the electricity grid in the western U.S., but a spokesperson for the independent system operator in California says the state's grid and the power systems affected on the East Coast are not connected. Taking a look at our traffic for you right now. Obviously, you're going to have to be a little resourceful if you're traveling. MTA, subways not running as power lines and signals have to be checked before service can resume. Buses are running, as are PATH trains, Metro North, and Amtrak limited in service. All New York City airports are open. Reports of planes are now coming in out of airports, so call to check your air carrier. Lower East River crossings open. 20-minute delays being reported on the inbound Holland Tunnel, 1 lane open in each direction. Lincoln Tunnel, not a fun place to be. Only 1 lane is open inbound, 60-minute delays. 2 lanes are open outbound. That appears to be moving okay. Good news on the George Washington Bridge. The lower level has reopened. Traffic moving very well in both directions, inbound and outbound. If you have to go into Manhattan, that's probably the best way to go, as the GWB 5-minute delays being reported. Port Authority having their pickup and drop-off in the area of 8th Avenue, so that's causing delays in that neighborhood. No tolls today on the Garden State, the New Jersey Turnpike. Alternate side is suspended. However, can you believe that you have to feed the meters in areas where they were? Come on. Oh, man, if I got a ticket today, how mad would I be? All right, John Minko, you have some sports for us?
Oak Hill Country Club Janice in Rochester. It'll be round number 2 of the PGA Championship later on today. And Phil Mickelson and Ron Pampling, your first-round leaders, both at 4 under 66 yesterday. Tiger Woods +4 at 74. Yankees beat the Orioles 8-5, start of a 4-game series at Camden Yards. 3 runs in the 7th inning for the Yanks, and also a 2-run Jorge Posada home run in the 9th inning. Bernie Williams, Hideki Matsui with 2 runs batted in apiece. Mariano Rivera, a 4-out save to support the starter, Andy Pettit, who wins his 14th of the year. So the Yankee lead on Boston stands at 3 games atop the American League East. The Red Sox beating the A's yesterday afternoon in 10 innings by the score of 4-2. The Mets and Giants, of course, canceled because of the blackout. Elsewhere in Major League Baseball, Albert Pujols extends his hit streak to 28. He had a first-inning single. The Cards beat the Pirates 4-3. Now, you couple that with the Cubs' victory against the Astros 7-1, and in the National League Central, the Cards and Astros are even atop the division today, with the Cubs just a half game back. Now, the National League wild card looks like this. The Phillies a half game on the Marlins. The Dodgers beating Florida 6-4, and it was the Phils erasing the Milwaukee Brewers 4-3. Elsewhere in the National League, 17 wins for Russ Ortiz. It was the Braves beating the Padres 7-4 and the Reds stopping the Diamondbacks 3-2. In the American League, Kansas City Royals with a 2-game edge on the Chicago White Sox. Why? The Royals did not play last night. The White Sox did, and they come up short to the Angels 5-1. Elsewhere, Indians 8, Twins 3. Texas takes Detroit 6-3, and Toronto victorious in Seattle 5-2. The final score of that game.
There are games tonight?
The Mets are scheduled for Shea Stadium against the Colorado Rockies tonight, and the Giants are scheduled to play a preseason game against Carolina Panthers out in the Meadowlands. We'll see what transpires as the day moves along.
What are you predicting?
Don't know. Not into the megawatts.
No. But we did cover that later on.
Yes, I understand.
Your reputation.
I don't know if we need my reputation. We don't need to revisit that.
Okay. I love it when John Minko says megawatts. All right, we're going to take a look at your forecast right now. Sunshine today. Temperatures will head up to 90. Now, if the power comes back on, Con Ed is actually saying if you can use your fans, that would be a great idea just to conserve energy until they get things really up and running. So if the power comes on, try to use your fans. Don't blast the air conditioner. It's just going to cause a surge. Okay, sunshine and humid today. Cold front on the way, which is good news. Showers and thunderstorms for Saturday and Sunday, and highs in the low 80s. It's 78 degrees. It's humid out there. IMUS the morning news time is 7:44.
Charlie Wilson's War tells a remarkable story of how the CIA Central Intelligence Agency armed the Afghan Mujahideen in what became the agency's biggest, meanest, and most successful covert operation in history. It is a great book. You know, the Army was Humpadis even before they bought the spot. So it a tour de force of reporting and storytelling. George Cryle, a veteran producer over there at 60 Minutes, unravels the true story of a whiskey-swilling, skirt-chasing, scandal-prone congressman from Texas named Charlie Wilson. Think of a guy who's come between Sid and Bernie, and you got your man. Charlie Wilson was getting it done, and while Reagan was trying to get $20 million for the Contras, Charlie got a couple $100 million for the Afghan rebels. So Charlie Wilson's War, it is a terrific book. It reads like a novel, it's just unfortunately all true. Charlie Wilson's War, published by Atlantic Monthly Press.
Honey, the clothes are dry.
Well, then let's empty the dryer.
Yes, we'll empty the dryer.
Now the cycle is done.
Our time together's just begun.
We just heard the buzzer ring.
We're like two socks stuck together by static cling.
What if everything was as romantic as Mohegan Sun? With a luxury hotel and spa, world-class gaming and spectacles, over 60 shops and restaurants, and the biggest names in entertainment and sports, you'll wish everything was as romantic as Mohegan Sun. Escape with our midweek legendary getaway package. A one-night stay, a $140 credit toward food and drink, and a $30 free bet for $139 per person. To experience the Mohegan Sun way yourself, book any of our hotel packages. Call 1-888-777-7922 or visit MoheganSun.com. Come play. Based on double occupancy, subject to availability. Restrictions apply.
No matter the vehicle you're looking for, get to Guys Auto Mall today to end your search and start your savings. Whether it's a Hyundai, Nissan, Toyota, Pontiac, Buick, or Cadillac, Guys Auto Mall has been building its reputation as the Lower Hudson Valley's premier dealer for over 70 years. That's 70 years of honesty, savings, and value, which means you can't find a more competitive price, more reliable service, or more savings anywhere else. For the most selection, award-winning service, and best price, it's got to be Guys. Experience the Guys tradition today. Guys Auto Mall, conveniently located at Route 6 and Westbrook Drive in Peekskill, New York. Call 914-528-4347. That's 914-528-4347.
The Kmart back-to-school sale.
Attention students, from August 10th to the 16th, Route 66 jeans are buy one, get one free. And enter to win a $1,000 shopping spree for all your back-to-school clothes. There will be a pop quiz, so get back to work.
For all your back-to-school needs, the bus stops at Kmart. Don't miss out.
No purchase necessary. Sweepstakes ends 8/31. See store for details, rules, and entry method. Void where prohibited. Must be U.S. resident, 18 or older. Terms and restrictions apply to Route 66 offer.
Would you really want to take a heartburn prescription every day for heartburn that you don't get every day? I don't think so. Try Pepcid first. Just one does it. When I know heartburn's coming, one Pepsid AC stops it before it even starts. Or after heartburn's already hit, I take one Pepsid Complete. It starts controlling acid in seconds and lasts all day or all night. And unlike a prescription, I take one only when I need it. Pepsid, just one, and heartburn's done.
Right now at Blockbuster, all previously viewed movies are 25% off. All the big hits, all the big stars, all 25% off the already low prices. Details at participating Blockbuster stores.
President Clinton and his closest advisors are exploring the high-risk strategy of having him admit sexual contact with Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah.
But Mr. Clinton would claim that the contact with Lewinsky did not amount to sexual relations, and therefore his sworn denial, and he said, I did not have sexual relations with that woman, did not constitute perjury, that sort of thing. Democratic allies, in fact, says the Post, had begun floating this scenario under which Clinton could deny perjury by claiming he was relying on a definition of sexual relations that excluded many forms of sexual contact. The definition was modified by the judge in the Paula Jones case under pressure from Clinton lawyer Bob Bennett. Under the judge's ruling, sexual relations was defined as contact with another person's genitalia, anus, groin, breast, inner thigh, or buttocks.
Right.
That definition, Clinton's allies argued, would mean that if Lewinsky performed oral sex on Mr. Clinton, but Mr. Clinton did not perform oral sex on her, it wouldn't be covered. And he could, then elude the perjury.
Here to shed further light on that from International Creative Management, the co-chair of the literary department, and my agent, Esther Lobson-Newberg. Good morning, Miss Newberg.
That's a nice lead in. I like that. That's
So,
for my career. So,
would you consider that, in your vast experience, oral sex?
Pardon me. So I have a comment here.
Okay, well, this is great. What do you want?
And don't give me that attitude problem that you show to everybody else.
Just get to the point, midget person.
President of the United States going out to California was seen carrying a copy of a book called Bark of the Assassin by Dan Silva. As he was coming back to Washington, he was getting off the plane carrying Stephen Hunter's Time to Hunt.
Right.
I think Monica's in trouble. Don't you think?
Just get her off the phone now. What a cheap, hideous, sleazy way. Now, this is somebody, just almost a Bo Dietl, Joey Potts and Pans like sleazy product plug to try to get on the program and plug a couple of our authors. Stephen Hunter, for sure, the film critic for the Washington Post, and a guy who we had on the program is, the guy who wrote Dirty White Boys and some of these others. They're fascinating thrillers, and A Time to Hunt is about a sniper, by the way, a Vietnam, Bob the Nailer out of Vietnam, and he's back. And that's the way lobster, God almighty.
This makes a good point, though.
What is the point?
Monica better watch her back. Watch her fat butt.
That will be fine. Joining us now, on behalf of you Jeep folks, is my brother Fred Imus. Do you believe that, Fred?
What's happening with Imus?
Did you hear Lobster?
Yeah, I did.
Isn't Lobster your agent, too, for...
Well, she was my agent during my very brief literary career.
Yeah.
That, by the way, is over forever now. So yes, I did have some contact with her.
I would remind you, Fred, that we took some money from Simon & Schuster for a photo book, so you are obligated to take some photographs of rocks in the Southwest.
Well, I can do that. It's just I can't write a sentence,
It would have been great. You could have taken pictures of those old historic buildings out on the ranch if you hadn't torn them down.
Well, I wanted to take them. I actually wanted to get the photographs of me tearing them down.
Yeah.
But then there's other options out there, which are, there'll be an option. Many photo ops actually out there when I bulldozed the Santa Fe Trail, which, by the way, I'm going to do.
Here's Chuck with the news now. Good morning, Charles. Very good morning, Chuck.
A little more, I-Man. A telephone poll suggests well, not a telephone poll.
Feel free to help us with the news, Fred, if you want.
Well, Clinton's home free.
He is.
I mean, absolutely home free, because...
even if he admits to having oral sex with her?
He's not going to admit that. He will not admit that. Only if he's a fool, he'll admit that.
Okay.
He's got to stick with what he said in January.
What if there's Ick on the dress?
Well, then he was alone with the dress, and who hasn't done that,
Well, Freddie, a lot of people haven't done that, like me or Charles or Bernard or Lou.
You know?
I'll say no. I've never done that.
Okay, I'll say no. I've never done that. How about you, Chuck?
No, never done that.
Bernie?
No way.
Okay.
I'll take the fifth on that one. Well, there ain't nothing like one of them little short silk dresses.
That will be fine, Fred. Go ahead, Charles.
Get you a magazine and look for a place
That will be
to hide.
fine.
We don't need that.
We don't need that. Go ahead, Charles.
What the people are thinking, man, Americans want President Clinton to tell the truth when he testifies Monday, even if it means admitting he had sexual relations, and lied about it earlier. That, according to a new USA Today CNN Gallup poll, which suggests trouble for Mr. Clinton if he commits perjury Monday. If that can be proven, 3/5 said it would be serious enough to consider removing him from office. But when asked this question, would you lose confidence in Clinton if he says he did have sex with Lewinsky? 71% say no, they would not lose confidence.
And if he admits to it?
If he admits to it.
And then makes a brief statement to all of us afterward and says he did and he's sorry and blames it on whatever, we'll all, including me, will forgive him. And just say, well, okay.
No, that's not what's going to happen, man. If he weakens and admits to it, then the wolves come out and they'll just never leave him alone.
And he's guilty of
got
perjury.
it. I mean, he said he didn't have sex with her. That's got to be his story.
How is he guilty of perjury?
In the first deposition.
How could it?
No. You mean the Paula Corbin-Jones definition?
They got around it.
No. He has a right to amend, and that's a civil deposition. He has a right, prior to that going to trial, and hasn't gone to trial yet, prior to that case going to trial, and of course it was dismissed, he has the right up to that point to amend that testimony. So this simply is amending that testimony. So he's not guilty of perjury.
Yeah, and besides...
He simply is amending testimony given in a civil deposition that has yet to go to trial. It's under appeal.
And he thus avoids perjuring.
So that absolutely is the case there.
So he lied under oath, but then there's nothing illegal about that.
Well, no, people do it all the time.
Oh.
And people do it all the time, lie in civil depositions, and then come back in and say, well, I'd like to change my testimony and amend that. That happens all of the time, hence the rule. That affords people that opportunity. They have second thoughts and they think, well, I'd like to clear this up before it actually goes to trial, and it is considered then perjury. No, absolutely. So he wouldn't be, technically he would have been, yes, being untruthful, but legally he's allowed to change that testimony. I mean, so you certainly wouldn't want to deprive the president of the basic tenets of the law that apply to anybody else, would you, Bernard?
No, he's above the law.
But that's not what I'm saying.
He doesn't have to go down to the grand jury. He'll stay in the White House with his lawyer.
Well, I mean,
privileges.
He is the president, please.
Right.
Fred, do you
Besides, there's not even an issue of perjury if they can't prove he had sex with Monica Lewinsky. And the Star's not going to be able to prove that. It's going to be a he said, she said situation. There's no eyewitnesses. He will not be able to prove it.
Fred, you're the guy who thought Mark Martin was going to win this car race last week. I mean, you've been wrong about that. It's just ridiculous.
I'm not wrong about this. I'm telling you.
What is your Jeep thing this week?
Well, I'm picking Dale Jarrett to win up there in Michigan at the Pepsi 400.
Okay.
All right.
Which is not going to happen.
Dale
Jarrett. Why would you? Well, by the way, where does that name Dale Jarrett come from in this equation? You factoring in the potential. What has he done to suggest that he has the potential to win this race?
Well, he ran fourth there last year. So I'm figuring he can get up to first this year. I think Mark Martin. Mark Martin could win that race. I'm thinking about it.
No idea.
Because, actually, Mark Martin won there last year. So my God, he could win that race, and Jarrett may just go up to third.
Okay.
So let me think here. You got a few minutes?
Call us back. I love you, but call us back. Bo and Joey are coming in, and then call us back after that. Maybe you can call us back and review Bo and Joey, okay?
I have more input on this Clinton situation, For one thing, if it's only sex, Congress will take the report and find the nearest trash can to dump it in, because about 60% of the members of Congress have committed sexual misconduct somewhere along the line, and if they want to start that war with Clinton, they'll be very sorry.
Well, we understand. If they can't prove perjury or obstruction of justice, everybody thinks they're going to drop it, right, Charles?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I mean, then they won't be able to prove that because they won't be able to prove he had sex with her. So the other charges aren't even an issue.
You sound like a fool.
I'm not a fool. You're going to see what happens if Clinton's going to get out of it, and then you
sound like a fool.
Well, you sound like a goober.
What if there's Lovick on a dress?
Doesn't mean much.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't mean much.
I don't know how you talked me into this, especially after the last blind date you set me up with. The one who considered his hair his most valuable possession.
Here he comes.
Oh, sorry I'm running late. I was tutoring some kids at the local school.
How nice. Are you a teacher?
No, I just volunteer there. Of course, that's when I'm not busy with the nonprofit group I started that rescues abandoned puppies.
Oh, I like puppies.
You never know when an opportunity will turn out to be golden. Like at the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event, where now through September 2nd, you'll find incredible values on all your favorite Lexus vehicles, like the uncompromisingly luxurious ES, the incredibly agile IS, the completely redesigned RX, and the finely appointed GX. It's one opportunity you don't want to miss.
So, do you live around here?
Most of the time. Every week or so, I like to fly out to one of my family's ranches.
Your family's ranches. Right.
The Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event, now through September 2nd, only at your New York, New Jersey, Connecticut Lexus dealer, or visit Lexus.com.
Hi, this is Dick Clark. You know, I always enjoy staying up late on New Year's Eve, but the rest of the year I love getting to bed early because my wife, Carrie, and I have a Tempur-Pedic mattress. Tempur-Pedic's revolutionary material leaves us relaxed, refreshed, and rejuvenated. Call 1-800-645-0707 for a free video brochure and a sample of the great pressure-relieving material Tempur-Pedic products are made of. Take it from Carrie and me. You're going to love Tempur-Pedic. Call 1-800-645-0707. This is Dick Clark wishing you pleasant dreams, America.
The Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New York.
Because, Jeff, obviously this has a substantial cost, not only in terms of the state, in terms of the National Guard and state police, but to the private sector. And so we need to make sure this gets
You know, I always enjoy
gets
staying
done
up late on
correctly.
New Year's Eve, but
Really is going to move energy to the top of a lot of people's priority list, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's also understanding, Pat, that people, and people last night were just extraordinary. I mean, examples that we heard.
Hi, this is DirecTV customer Dennis Miller reading a real letter from fellow DirecTV customer Jimmy Jablonski, who writes, since 1995, I've had DirecTV and, of course, NFL Sunday Ticket. I haven't missed 1 second of any Colts game since. You got to be the fan of the decade, Jimmy. Not 1 second? You're like the postal carrier of fans. You've watched through snow, sleet, weddings, and hot wings going cold. You're the phone off the hook, 9-inch portable black and white set with DirecTV in the bathroom, just in case kind of fan. Be proud, but remember, DirecTV service does give you more NFL games than anyone else. You know, Jim, there are 31 other teams in the league.
NFL Sunday Ticket, available exclusively from DirecTV. Sign up now and ask how you can get 4 free months of our best programming package. Call 1-800-DirecTV or see your local retailer for details.
Offer ends 10/17/03. New customers only. Pricing subject to change. Subscribe to NFL Sunday Ticket and the Total Choice Premier of Local Channels package with an annual commitment to any Total Choice package. Hardware sold separately. Lack of rules and other restrictions apply.
That's the sound of a normal cell phone call. That's the sound of a Nextel Direct Connect walkie-talkie call.
Hey, Ned, I've got some info that could help you with your new biz meeting.
The difference between and is huge. Not only does Direct Connect give you instant contact, but it works from coast to coast. That's right. You can talk to someone clear across America, just like... That's Nextel, coast to coast. Direct Connect. You can get the instant convenience of Nextel's coast-to-coast walkie-talkie with Nextel's Instant Nationwide Connect plan. It gives you 500 anytime minutes, unlimited Direct Connect, including unlimited nationwide access and unlimited nights and weekends for only $49.99. For details, call 1-800-NEXTEL-9 or visit Nextel.com. Offer